Γεια χαρά, να είμαι πάλι εδώ, πάμε στα αγγλικά. Good afternoon everyone, Sakis Fragos from Rockhard, Greece, and we are about to conduct an Instagram live chat with Matt Barlow, with the legend Matt Barlow, the singer of Ashes of ARES and former singer of Eister, and the singer of Schaefer Barlow project right now. As far as I know, Matt is all ready to be with us in a few minutes. So feel free to send us any questions you would like to ask Matt. Anything that you want, and we'll be glad to make these questions and have Matt answer them. So let's ask for Matt. We are it's morning in the US right now, afternoon in Europe, and hi Matt, how are you?
Hey man, how are you?
Very, very well. I was just explaining that it's morning in the US and afternoon in Greece and Europe.
It is.
Now, the beginning of a new week, so what's best to start our week having a conversation with you?
Awesome, man.
I
Well,
think,
great to be
I
here.
think
This is my first Instagram interview, so
I hope you will have many more to follow. Because this is, I have to say, this is one of my favorite things over the internet in the last few years. Having done countless interviews through the phone, the Skype, and anything, I think that the Instagram live chat is something really good, and it gives the opportunity to the fans to ask anything they want. So as far as you are a musician of your caliber, you have many things to get asked. And so far I have many questions waiting from all kinds of the periods that you have covered as a singer. So
good.
let's not waste our time and get right to the point. So first of all, your main band is Ashes of ARES. What's going on with Ashes of ARES right now? What
Uh,
should we expect?
well, Ashes is actually, as you know, we are with Rock of Angels Records, and it's we're getting ready to release, and I'm not exactly sure what the exact time frame is on it, but we're looking at releasing an EP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to have one of the new tracks from the new record, from the full length that will be out probably next year, and a couple of cover tunes on there. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to divulge that information or not, what the tunes are, but
You can reveal them. If
okay.
you don't, I will. If you don't, I will.
All right. So we're doing our version of Dust in the Wind, and our version of which is probably a little bit of a departure. Most people are probably going to scratch their heads about it, but we're doing our version of Chicago's 25 or 6 to 4. Freddie and I are we're fans of all kind of music, but certainly when you hear that song and that opening bass line to that song, if whoever's not familiar with it, I guarantee as soon as you listen to the opening bass line, you're gonna know the song, whether you think you know the song or not, you're gonna know that, because it's just such a familiar line. There's some songs that you just hear that the first couple notes of a song and you know exactly what it is. So they were really fun to do, and I like to do covers and kind of like our version of certain things. So it was a lot of fun to do those, and hopefully everybody's going to like that. It's going to be released on a special vinyl, which is going to be awesome. and the artwork is going to be really nice for the record as well. And it will definitely be, the artwork on the record is going to be very much Ashes of Ares, and it's going to kind of harken back to like what Ashes of Ares does, and that's kind of the stuff that we like to do. So I think people are going to really dig it. It's going to be a really nice production. I was really honored that Roar wanted to do this for us and with us, and as kind of a kickoff to the next full-length record with them. So it's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be limited edition. So now that you mentioned Rock of Angels Records, how are things with Roar? Having been in Nuclear Blast for your debut album and in Rock of Angels, the Greek label, for your second one, what do you think? How are things with the label, and what do you think you've been taken greater care of?
Oh yeah, I think Roar's really doing a nice job for us, with us. It's a very friendly, very open. Just the whole experience is very much easy to communicate with folks. So we're really happy with their response to what we're doing, and we're really happy with what they're doing. So hopefully we will continue on with a nice long relationship. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Regarding Ashes of Ares, Van Williams lost his wife a few months ago. Have you spoken to him lately? How are things going with him? How is he now?
Well, Freddie's been in contact with Van. I know that it's a tough time, and I really haven't. I've sort of just been giving him space, but
Yeah.
Freddie is a little pushier than I am, so he's definitely had contact with him. I think he's doing well from what I understand from Freddie, and we certainly it's really kind of tough. It's sort of one of those deals. Whenever you have somebody that's close to you that's going through that, you want to give them space.
Yeah.
And that all I can say is we're here whenever he needs us to be here, and that's basically what I'm saying. And I know it's been a long battle. It was a long battle for Dory with her cancer, and her suffering is over. But those that that love her and have loved her, their suffering is going to continue for a while now, because she was that kind of personality. So I can only say that for me personally, it's going to be tough when I finally sit down and face to face with Van and talk to him about it, because it's going to be a lot of emotions, and I'm here whenever he's ready for that, and but at the same time I want to give him enough time to grieve with his close family and Dory's family and their son. So that's basically where it is. And I know it's been a few months, but I guarantee there's been a lot of things going on, and with the lockdowns and everything like that in the U.S., it's really tough, even for travel and things like that, to other states, and especially New York, where Van is from. There's a lot of serious lockdowns. So it has been for several months now. So it's tough all around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was very difficult as far as services and things like that for Dory. But
Yeah. How do you think? How do you see the whole situation in the U.S. Right now, with the pandemic from the one side and the elections for the president on the other side? How are things going over there?
It's pretty chaotic right now. That and the riots and things. It's a very tumultuous time. I try to just stay back and stay out of it. You can look at my Facebook page. This is like my first kind of Instagram kind of venture, but I just really stay out of politics and just try to stay as far out of that as I can. Everybody's going to have an opinion. At the end of the day, I really try not to add any more opinions into the mix, because it's tough.
It's too much of a drama going on, and
right.
It makes no sense adding to the drama.
Exactly. Much rather a person that brings joy So, if I can bring joy with music, then that's what I'm going to do. And, sitting here promoting that, and hopefully, it's going to bring joy to your folks, your viewers and your readers and things like that. That's what I'm about. I'm about bringing joy to folks. So
Yeah, and a couple of months ago, I think it was in August. There was a video where you sang "I Died for You" on Facebook, and I got lots of messages from Greek fans saying that they could clearly see the poster of the Athens shows for Alive in Athens right behind you, where you sang "I Died for You."
yep.
What do you remember from those shows in Athens where you recorded Alive in Athens? And as we could see, it's posted on your wall for all these years.
Yeah, well, hey man, it was, obviously it was a very, very special time for all of us, and that, I thought that was like the coolest thing, actually getting a poster for it from the Rhodown Club, and that's why it's been in a frame ever since, and it's on my wall. I also have my gold record from that record on my wall as well. There's a couple other Eister posters and things like that. So, I mean, I definitely celebrate accomplishments, and I definitely consider that a huge accomplishment for me personally, and it will always be an awesome, an awesome memory. So anybody that was there that night knows exactly what I'm talking about. There was some magic that happened, so it was very, very special time.
Yeah, for those who are not from Greece, and as far as I can see, that we have greetings from many, many places all over the world, from Turkey, from England, from Germany, from the US. For those who didn't know or who don't know, Eister at that particular time, especially, had the fame of Iron Maiden or Metallica in Greece. That's not a lie, I can guarantee that. And greetings to Colombia from Bogota. There are people watching us right now, which is definitely a pleasure. A lot of discussion has been raised following the recent project with John Schaefer. And there are people asking, why did you decide to do covers of Christmas songs, and as well as a couple of reworked Eister classics? So I mean, it's "I Died for You" and "Watching Over You."
Right. Yeah. It's it's just kind of one of those things. Like we had said before, John and I had talked about doing something like that a long time ago. But obviously, it was never going to be under Iced Earth. Iced Earth is a whole other animal, and we didn't really want to do Iced Earth does Christmas music, But so whenever John approached, obviously all bands are on hiatus as far as touring, and Iced Earth is certainly no exception. They're a touring band. That's how Iced Earth makes money, really, because there's not as much money to be made with just
The record sales.
Yeah, with record sales, it's just most people they make a record to promote a tour, and that's the way music started out as, and then it evolved into the opposite, and now it's back to the original kind of concept. But so John had time, I had some time. It was cover songs and just reworking Eister stuff that he and I already knew. So it wasn't it's kind of, for me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it made total sense. It gives us what we had talked about doing before, about doing some reworked Christmas songs and doing a couple extra things, giving folks something hopefully positive for the upcoming season. And I think people are going to dig it. It's different than Eister, but or certainly Ashes or anything that we've done before. But obviously, our particular brand and style is going to be on there. So Like I said, I can't not do my voice. My voice is my voice, and that's just the way it is. And so, and John certainly, his vision. You're going to hear these songs and go, yep, that's got John Schaefer written all over it. So even though they're cover tunes, we definitely took it to a different level and took it to a different place. And it was just a lot of fun. It was. I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was just, obviously having the familiarity with the songs to begin with. It was certainly easier than writing songs from scratch. But we were able to kind of do some stuff. Like when we started working the idea, I got in my studio and I started working some ideas as far as delivery of stuff, and he started working with doing some things, and he and Jim worked together. And so whenever I got to Indiana to do the stuff, the songs were pretty much done except for a couple little bits and pieces, and then I got to do the vocals. And so it just really worked out. It was nice. The songs they sound huge. So I think it'll be really fun for folks that like what we've done before in the past, and maybe want to take this kind of seasonal approach to it. So hopefully it'll be really nice. And that's hopefully, well, everything's going to be out. The digital downloads are going to be available to everybody, I think November 15th, like middle, and so you'll be able to download that. It'll be the best quality download that you can get, a step above standard MP3 stuff. And then the physical product is hopefully going to
certainly is different than
shortly thereafter.
Anything else that you have done.
What's that?
It's certainly different from whatever else you have done so far in your career.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's better or worse, but it's certainly different.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are gonna judge it one way or another, and that's fine. We're willing to take that criticism or.
Father, having spoken with John a few times before about these crowdfunding campaigns, he was always telling me that he wanted to do something like that, and I think that it was a kind of experiment for him, because he wants to do many things with these crowdfunding campaigns. And how did you see at first this idea of doing a crowdfunding campaign for an album?
Well, it's my certainly my first time being involved in it. I think the thing is it's interesting doing it because it at least gives the because it's the certain packages or what have you, certain packages give folks an opportunity to have something completely unique. So it's like a lot of the packages are there's like 5 of certain copies, like the test pressings and things like that, that are going to be available in the world. So those pledges are a little bit higher in cost and things like that for the pledges, but it's giving folks what they want. So if they want it, they can purchase it. We're not twisting anyone. We didn't twist anybody's arm to purchase them. But if they're fans and they want something that's unique and they're willing to pay for it, then that's cool. And if not, that's okay too. We also offered the CDs, I think, at a very reasonable price, and the digital downloads. So the downloads are that's the minimum, but still at an affordable cost for anybody, so long as you want to do it. And that was really what made up most of the pledges for this campaign, were digital downloads and the CDs. So I think it's kind of cool that it offers a variety of different things for different people. And at the end of the day, regardless of we had a minimum that we had to make to get people what they needed to listen to, and on top of that, everybody gets what they gets what they want, and I'm sure we'll get feedback as far as the product and all that. But as John Schaefer doesn't do anything half-assed, so the production quality and the packaging and all that is going to be top notch, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Of course, as we understand, this collaboration with John. You're you're his brother-in-law, and it's not only that you have sung with Eister, but you have a family relationship. So I received lots of questions, and of course, it's the natural question that goes on. First of all, are there any plans for a new Schaefer Barlow album with new songs, not with cover versions? Is there something like that in your plans?
Sure. Yeah, there's always that possibility, man. I mean, obviously we're not going to say anything, but obviously with this response from this Kickstarter campaign, I think was pretty darn good, and I think that people are saying that they would like something more than that. So I definitely think that that's a very good possibility. So
for those who don't know, the Kickstarter campaign has gathered more than 6 times the amount that you needed for. Just saying about that, because many people probably do not know how's that it going. You ask for a specific amount of money, you want to gather a specific amount of money, and this is visible to everyone. So I can confirm that the Kickstarter campaign better than expected, at least to my eyes. So why not making a new Schaefer Barlow album?
that's okay, but sorry. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
My son was asking me about breakfast. No,
okay.
The campaign did amazingly. I mean, and we've said as much, and we've said thank you so many times, and again we'll continue to say it. So everybody that supported the project, we are extremely grateful, and we'll, like I said, hopefully that will also turn into something in the future for you as well. So that's what that's what we're for.
John has said that you will not be the next Eister singer. I think he has mentioned it a couple of times in his chats. So it makes no sense to have you as a new Eister singer from the time that he can do another project with you and not ruin the whole Eister monster.
Correct. I mean, it really wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to be in Iced Earth. Iced Earth, Stu has been a member of Iced Earth, far longer than I ever was. He's done more touring. He's done more. I don't know how many, if he's done more records or not, but Stu is phenomenal, and Stu is Iced Earth. So that's just the facts of the matter. They are a machine when they're touring, and that's just something that I can't do that. I can't do that right now. I have another career, and I would certainly do that either, and John certainly wouldn't do that to Stu, who has been a loyal member of Iced Earth for a very long time, and an incredible. I think I've lost you.
People ask.
Yeah.
Is there any? So I have some problems with the connection. I hope you can hear me and see me well.
There's some connection.
Is there any possibility to see you perform with Eister for a specific tour for example, a specific album, an anniversary of Dark Saga, let's say?
Nothing. We've never discussed anything like that or talked about anything like that. So I don't really see that happening, man. Again, Stu is the singer of Eister. I mean, outside of me getting up there and doing a little, cameo or something with Stu, I can't really see anything like that happening.
Yeah. Who was a musician or album that changed your perspective about music when you were younger, or now?
Wow, man, it's sort of weird because I'm so old that it's sort of a blur as far as bands that kind of changed my perspective. I mean, probably the one of the most, I gotta say, one of the most influential heavy heavy metal acts for me, and it sort of, I guess, speaks to where it is in my timeline, like as opposed to John's, where John was heavily influenced by Iron Maiden. I would say that like Metallica probably influenced me a little bit more as far as like kind of, that was kind of my era. John's a couple years older than me, and it's just sort of the way it worked out. So when Metallica hit in '83, that was kind of like the big push for me, and that was that at my time. I was 13 in '83, and that was probably pretty influential on me as far as heavy music. So
yeah,
I'll give Metallica.
I think your first tour was with Blind Guardian. Am I right? In Europe.
No, first tour was not with Blind Guardian. That was actually Eister toured with them a couple times prior to me joining. So I was not with time. The first time I ever toured with Blind Guardian was with Eister, and it was in we supported them through part of their tour, and it was in Spain. So that was cool. That was really good.
Which is the best band that you have toured with, or which was your favorite tour?
Man, there were so many great tours. We had a really special connection, and I'm sure you know that we had a really special connection with the guys in Nevermore, and even the guys in Jack Panzer. They were our label mates, and we did a lot of touring with those guys. So we got to know them, them all like brothers, and obviously that's where the connection comes with me and Van and like Mark Bridie from Jack Panzer. So those are the tours that really always stick out in my mind because we just spent so many tours with there were multiple tours with them. But we had a great time too with Saxon. I had a blast, and that was when I went back with Eister, and we were kind of touring all over Europe, and we had a really good time with those guys as well. Saxon was great group of guys.
Mm-hmm. If someone doesn't know you, which song would you play for him as your most representative one?
As far, I guess probably the most well known, and maybe gives an idea of where I am, where I am emotionally in songs and emotionally invested in songs. I would say like "Question of Heaven" would be a great one, because it kind of goes all over the place as far as the emotional stuff and the really the heavier. I'm just really into emoting, which I'm sure you're probably aware of. But that's kind of my bag, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm into. So that would probably in a nutshell be one of the songs that I feel I was very connected to, and it still I still listen to it and go that I was right in the pocket with that song. So that's I'm always happy listening to that song.
Again, I would like to mention again to all the people that are watching us, if they want to send us any kind of questions that anything else done, they have already done, just feel free to send us a question in the section of the comments below, and if possible, just to tell us where they are from. It's very interesting to know where all these people that are watching us, that have been watching us all this time, are from. It's always fun. So would you change anything from your previous albums? Anything? I mean, from the photo sessions, from the promotion, from the record label, the song title.
We're getting a bad connection again, but I'll try to answer this one. Yeah, I think anything that I would change. I never really try to ever look back and be super hypercritical of things. Obviously, there are always things that you go, man, I should have done this different. I should have done, I should have delivered this line differently, and then that's okay. I'll do it live differently, and I'll change it, which I do occasionally. But if you're super hypercritical about everything that you do, then it's really tough to go forward. All you can do is learn from those things and just try to do it a little bit differently as you're going forward. So no, I'm not going to say that I would change anything. I just think that things happen for a reason, and I'm a big proponent of that idea. Sometimes things happen for a reason. It may not seem at first to be the right thing, or even looking back at it as maybe the right thing in a whatever I'm trying to say, specificity, I guess, or whatever whatever word I'm looking for, in specific. But in the big picture of things, I think it all happens for a reason, and I think it's so I'm never going to be super hypercritical of things that I've done in the past, because it just doesn't really help moving forward.
So another question that came was, what finally went wrong when you rejoined Eister for the Crucible of Men? How have things changed since 2011 for you and the rest of your life?
Well, the thing that went wrong was basically just the record business changed. So when I went back under the idea that we could tour under with my schedule, and with my career schedule and everything else like that. And actually, it's funny because on that particular record, I toured more than I did on any other record that I had been on before, any other Iced Earth record. So as far as touring and promoting the record, we did a great job as far as getting out there. But because the record industry did change, John and the band Iced Earth was not able to make the kind of income off of records that was necessary to keep the band going. I had to step down so that they could get a singer that could tour and do the work, and that's what they got with Stu. So it was really amicable as far as I certainly had no hard feelings, but I wasn't willing to quit my career and not be around for my kids growing up. This is it's really important time for me that I be around with them. And when I got back the year that I got back with Iced Earth, my youngest son was a year old. So I was gone a lot during those times, because I took my vacation from work, I would roll that over into touring. So I literally I wasn't taking family vacations or anything, because I was using all of my time for touring, which was fine. I was making money and all that. So I'm not going to say that was a bad thing. And I got to do it.
No, but you missed your family. You missed the most important time of your son, the upbringing of your son for his first year.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. And it wasn't, it's not like I had hard feelings about that, but I certainly wasn't to quit my job and be on the road for the amount of time that it was necessary for the band to make money. And so I bowed out, and certainly graciously did so. No regrets about that either, because it just it out really the best, man. And I'm coming up on I've got 3 years until I can retire from my career. And I've been able to be home with my sons, and my oldest just celebrated his 15th, or actually today is his 15th birthday. So
happy birthday to him.
Very good, thank you.
Happy birthday. My son is 9 years old, so I guess. So now that you mentioned the changes in the music business, which of these changes in the music industry is the most annoying for you nowadays?
It's for me, it doesn't necessarily affect me greatly. I mean, obviously the main thing as far as being an artist, there's a lot less money to be had. For one of the reasons is because obviously people pirate music. People are downloading music for free all the time without regard of the artist that's putting forth the music. So in that regard, that's probably the most annoying thing, because people either they're not mindful of the fact that they're taking music and not the artist is getting paid nothing, or they don't care. You know, one or the other. It can be either way. So that's pretty annoying. And the fact that, you know, today you can even if you're paying for music, and you know, I'm thankful for folks that do it and pay for each song. Even if you're paying for it, the artist still gets very, very little for individual songs. Before, you know, when you had to buy a record, which I love buying records, because I think whenever you buy a record, you're actually looking at that moment, at least, or that era of that band. You're kind of looking into their soul. So a whole record gives you a better understanding of that band at that time than a single song does. But that being said, you know, back in the day when you were buying an entire record, then the artist got paid for every one of those songs that was on that record. Even if it was a small percentage, even if you were on an indie label and you weren't getting that much, you were at least getting something, you know. And I can see a drastic change, you know, I have seen a drastic change with just, you know, the money that I get back from, you know, from the royalties from the songs. And I don't even rely on, you know, my money, any money from music, really, to as part of my livelihood. I have and all that, and so I do music for the love of it. You know, obviously, if I can make some money at it, that's great. That's fantastic. That means it means that all the years that I put into it are paying me. You know, and that's cool. And and folks that want to listen to what I'm doing and don't mind paying for the music, then that's fantastic. And I'm extremely grateful. And I think that everybody knows that. But it is tough, man. It's really tough for musicians. It's really extremely tough for musicians that don't have the kind of time in that I do. So guys and gals that are getting into the industry and are trying to, make it a go as far as a career, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's not even it's one of the things where they're just now, and I got to say this to anybody who's doing it, just understand that you probably need another job. And it was much the same for me when I was coming up. I mean, I had another job always, but it's rough when you're touring and you have a job and you got to quit that job to go tour and then get another job when you get back and all that other good stuff, because that job's not going to stay there for you. But it's really, really tough now. And unless you can tour, unless you get your name out there touring and being a touring band, then it's going to be really tough for you to make any money recording music. So that's Now, on the upside of it, it's a lot easier to record in your own studio now. So it's one of those. It's there's always two sides to every coin, I guess.
Two sides of a coin. And that's the reason that so many younger bands have popped up. And if you search, then you might surely find something interesting to satisfy your taste of music.
Sure.
Can you tell me which is the most extreme or emotionally moving expression of admiration that you have received as a musician?
Well, I think it's always interesting for me whenever I hear people covering stuff that I've done. I mean, that's definitely they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I got to say that's where I'm at as far as whenever I'm doing a cover song of some other bands, because I have great admiration for the band or for the singer or for so I get it. That to me is probably the best thing, man. So whenever I see people send me stuff, and I try to see it. If I see it, then I try to comment and say something positive and thank them for doing that, because I think that's a huge thing. So
when you mentioned the keyword, the word positive.
Yes.
That's something that we don't see often nowadays, especially in the social media, which leads me to the next question. Do you read comments on social media?
I do, and I try
Hmm.
to read things and things that are positive. I try to, sometimes I just, pick somebody on my friends list and, say happy birthday or, what have you, because sometimes I spend all day, if all of my friends on Facebook, if I have, happy birthday to everybody, then I would take me forever. Um, but things that move me, I usually, especially, whenever people pass, have a family member pass and I see that, I try to give condolences and if I see a birthday or somebody, is celebrating an anniversary, I try to congratulate them. I think it's really important I think it's really, really important, like you said, today, this day and age, with so much negativity on social media, and it seems like such an animal and such a vile creature sometimes, just to throw some positive vibes out there is the best thing that you can possibly do. And I just wish everybody would do that. Just pick one day and go, look, today I'm going to put anything on social media except positivity. Forget the
Yeah.
politics, forget the, whatever, and just go positive. But
Do you do the comments on your music play any role on the musical direction of your next album?
sometimes it does, but I really have to, I take certainly take things to heart, like, and I certainly think, like, what you were saying, with me doing the the I Died for You, the acoustic
Hmm.
cover.
Yeah.
I think that definitely had some influence, for for things to come. So I'll just throw that out there. So it's really important, I think, and it's really amazing whenever you can touch somebody emotionally, and so yeah, yeah, I'm influenced by a lot of different kind of directions, but I definitely have to latch onto something and let it drive me. So yes, I guess the answer
Yeah.
is yeah.
Another question that popped up is, which is your favorite Eister album?
My favorite Iced Earth album. Boy, I'm guessing I guess I have to say Alive in Athens, right?
No, no. Let the live albums now out. Let's go to the studio.
Okay, studio albums. Okay, so we already know that Alive in Athens is the best one ever.
Yeah, in this live chat, so many people from the world, so it's not only us in Greece. So let's stick to the studio albums of Eister,
Studio albums.
so that we can satisfy everyone,
Yeah.
not only your Greek fans.
Um, well, yeah. So studio albums, I would probably have to say, Something Wicked is one of those records that just kind of covers the whole gambit of things. There's so many really cool ballads in there, so many really heavy songs. The the um, Something Wicked trilogy on the end. I mean, the production quality is just top notch, and just everything just kind of worked with that record. And it's really interesting because I always think back on that. That was a record that is when I was living up in Indiana, but John and I drove down to Florida to do it. I got sick about halfway through the production, and so I took a couple days off, and then I got back into it. And I can't even really tell you which songs that I did prior to me being sick and which ones I did afterwards. But it was just one of those things that I had no idea how big and influential that record would be, and just knowing, it didn't really take us that long to do the whole record, but it was just really cool. It was a really cool experience, and it just has a lot of great songs on it. So yeah, I would say Something Wicked's probably the one.
Speaking about songs, which song you're sick and tired of playing it live and you wouldn't like to listen to it once more?
I can't think of one. I mean, I especially the songs that are crowd favorites. I could do any of those songs. The bottom line is, when a song takes a life of its own, you have to enjoy it. And and also, it's not like I'm out there gigging every weekend either. It would be different if I was doing songs and it was like a cover thing or what have you. But to me, any song that I've been a part of and been able to do and be a part of, I'm honored to just perform those things for fans any day of the week. So yeah.
I have a very interesting question over here. You have toured many countries. Which country has the best food?
The best food. Well, man, again, I'm not trying to pander here, but I absolutely love Greek food. So
Yeah,
I think that like from everything, like even just the salad, the salad, the vegetables with feta cheese on top, and just amazing. I love gyros. Just yeah, I think that's definitely. And I always talk. It's funny because I always talk to my wife about it. I said, we got to go to Greece because we got to get some food.
make sure and get food back home when you return home. Just come here and get some food. Just make sure you come here, and we'll be happy to accommodate you anytime. So I guess that that's all for me right now. So we have covered all the questions. That which is your favorite Eister song, for example? Now the guy asks over here.
Favorite Eister song, man. Again, it really it's usually the kind of the crowd favorites. There are so many. It's really kind of hard to pick just one. I'll tell you what, I'll do this one that was not originally mine that I love to do. That I always loved to do live is Pure Evil. That wasn't my one of my original songs, but I absolutely I always loved performing that song live, man, because it just rocks. Great tune. So
Fantastic. So, Matt, thank you very much for this conversation.
thank you.
I hope you had a great time speaking about your past, your present, and your future in this live chat. Hope you enjoyed it, as it was your first time.
Thanks, man. We'll just have me back whenever you like, man. Just give me a shout.
Thank you very, very much. Wish you a great day, and thanks to everybody that attended this live chat and sent their questions prior or during the live chat. Thank you very much, Matt. Happy birthday to your son.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.
So, the last thing, before you hang up, tell him to have long hair once again. The guy asks.
Grow it back, man. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about me. My son. My son can do that now. I'm far too old to do that, I think.
Yeah, but Bruce Dickinson has long hair once again, so it's time for Matt Barlow to do it.
Yeah, well, he's got great hair follicles apparently, so we'll see how it works out. My hair treats a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Have a great day. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.